Over 48% of the Sri Lankan population is under the age of 30. And yet, amidst the turmoil of recent years, the youth find themselves looking at bleak futures within Sri Lanka. Brain drain is massive, unemployment is increasing, inflation is beyond comparison, and money is scarce. Carving out a future in Sri Lanka is nearly impossible. I checked in with Prashan De Visser, founder and lead of Sri Lanka Unites, the largest movement for reconciliation in the country, which has now spread to over 10 countries as Global Unites. Prashan, welcome once again on the show. You've been working a lot in the last few years and decades with Sri Lankan youth. Recent years have not been kind to our youth in this country. What are the immediate problems you see facing Sri Lankan youth?
There is a frustration with the fact of the education system that leads to nowhere. It only has opportunities for a select few, and the rest are stranded. For years, they haven't addressed that. And you also have an education system that hasn't been updated to the modern times so that they can compete at an international level. You have the lack of English training for a lot of our young people who want to in rural sectors. They wish their English teachers in their government schools were able to bring them, but even those teachers are not fully trained. Now, with the economic downturn, the fear of what is our future, there's running out of a capacity to hope. And that needs to be addressed. They're realizing our older generation don't have solutions, may not even know what to do next. We have to take matters into our hands and start leading and serving and innovating and building our own country.
So, what are these young people questioning?
Once you become a bankrupt nation, once you've had so many cycles of violence, once you've seen a nation at independence which was just second to Japan as an economy, Asia is the oldest democracy. Now, at this level, they don't trust anybody. They're questioning everything, which is great. We have to. Breaking down of the system that failed is important, and you need to question everything. And that's what they're doing. And at the same time, they're asking for what works. How do we do it? And then clearly pinning down saying these individuals, they did us wrong, and we need accountability. That's important.
Two things that have been ingrained in our culture among manifold issues is racism and gender inequality. Do the young people realize that these two have been used as tools to pit one against the other?
First of all, I think it's been very clearly the main tool for every political party more often than not. And it's also been a way to hide their incompetence, hide the fact that they don't have experience or the capacity to deliver. And when it comes to one election cycle to the other, now they have failed on their promises. So now let's play the ethnic card. Let's play the religion card. Let's create a fear psychosis and pit people against each other and show that I am your person, you should vote for me. And as a result, we've had incompetent thugs coming into power. And so young people this time around, with the Aragalia, that's one of the most beautiful things for me about this protest, is that they are questioning that, saying we have been pitted against each other. They use racism to hide their incompetence, to pave the way for their corruption, and to have self-serving policies for themselves. We will never let them divide us again. I'm seeing that here in Gulfis, I'm seeing that in Kandy, in Kegol, across the country, down south in Hambantota. That's an amazing start. Now we want to make sure it's not just a phase, that people realize that, and there's a resistance. The moment the politician plays the ethnic card, the religious card, to hide their incompetencies, that we call them out on it.
So young people instigated the protests. They are continuing it. Do you think they will have the strength and the fortitude to go on until their goals are met?
It's going to be a long run. And I don't think we've seen protests this long in any way. Even in the Arab Springs, even in Egypt, you're talking about 23 days and so on. At least those dictators had a little bit more shame. And they realized that they have failed and they saw the consequences and they left. Our people in power have less of that. So we will have to wait and see. But what I do know is that it's all beginning to create the new culture, the new character of a nation, a new character of a generation. And this is all important. Whatever the outcome is, this is important for this generation to take leadership now and no longer believe in these career politicians who've been in politics for 50 years and now saying they have a dream for building a developed country. You failed. Now it's time to step away because it's not your future at stake. It's the future of a new generation. And there are competent, educated, trustworthy, transparent young leaders waiting at the helm. Make way. Get out.
Given the amount of stuff we are going through right now, Prashan, that there are young people out there ready to take the mantle and take us with them up where we belong in this country, really. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Don't forget, subscribe and follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
Making all your new goals in life a reality is why our strength is your strength. With 12 billion rupees worth of customer benefits in 2020 and a life insurance fund worth over 100 billion rupees, our strength is your strength. You focus on your goals. We will take care of the risks. Sri Lanka Life.